Hello, and welcome to another underprepared episode of We Only Look Thin. I am Katherine Weigel. I've lost 150 pounds. I'm not prepared for this. And with me today is my co-conspirator,
Donald Weigel. I almost wasn't prepared to say who I was there.
I almost said who you were. See, I set you up for failure with my negative thinking, which is we are underprepared.
I am not sure if it's a great idea to tell people we're underprepared for this.
Here's the thing. People in the Northern Hemisphere, it's hot. It's hot. And we don't have any air on. We don't have fans on. We are...
because the audio quality of the show is more important than our comfort.
It is, and we do it for you. But
for you people.
Honestly, the temperature is rising. The stress is mounting. We have a neighbor who has a very loud meeting in a couple of hours. So we just need to... Can you hear the... Can you hear that?
I'm sure that's really annoying to anyone listening.
We need to keep this briskly paced, and in doing so, we underprepared for this episode. So we're just getting it out there. Sometimes we just get it out there.
I'm very prepared.
Okay,
I'm a professional.
Fine.
I came to the microphone ready.
Okay, this morning I'm just going to say it. I'm usually the one who needs to be in the mood to podcast, but Donald this morning was not having the podcast.
Yeah, I'm good now though.
He's fine.
I don't know.
Oh, you're good?
Yeah, I'm good now.
When
I woke up, we went on our morning walk. We went on a 6-mile walk this morning, everyone.
Nice.
Yeah, must be nice. I wasn't feeling it, but by the end of the walk, I was into it because Catherine talked me up.
I had lots of coffee before we went on our walk, and I was full of excitement, and you were not. So that's what coffee gets you. That's not our product of the week. That's just what keeps us going.
You know, it's funny. Our what I'm about to say, it just occurs to me, sort of ties into the tip of the week. To let you behind the veil, behind
Iron
the
curtain.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Imaginary force field.
We actually haven't recorded a podcast, even though we put these out one a week. We haven't recorded a podcast in almost a month. It's been at least 3 weeks because we went on a vacation.
Must be nice.
Yeah, must be nice. And, you know, it turns out it's kind of easier to keep up with something than to quit for a while and then get back into it.
Like podcasting?
Yeah, like podcasting. I mean,
See?
I'm serious. My motivation for recording today was low when I woke up.
Luckily,
but now I feel great about it.
Mine was high. So we have lots to talk about. We are going to talk about our vacation, which must be nice.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a tip of the week.
Tao!
We're going to talk about how old I am. We're going to talk about my feet. We're going to talk about our product of the week.
Pow!
Pow!
And the product of the week is not Walt Place.
It's not my feet. So where should we start with the tip of the week?
Yeah, let's start with the tip of the week.
Tip of the week to you.
Tip of the week to you,
Tao.
darling. Tao.
So, as Donald intimated, did you intimate or did you just say it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I said words.
You said words. We don't know what we're talking about. The tip of the week is actually that it is easier to keep something up than it is to quit it and try to restart again later.
Yeah, and specifically, what are you talking about here?
Here's what I'm talking about. If you have been following the podcast, you know that I have been doing the Blogilates 30-day Summer Sculpt Challenge.
She sure has. I've seen it, and I took photographs.
And it's amazing. Like, I love the program. I love Cassie Ho, the host of the program. She does workouts Monday through Friday, and I was doing it nonstop. I did it for 3 weeks straight. And I was feeling stronger. I was feeling more toned. And I was feeling invincible, which is maybe where my downfall was.
Yeah.
We went away on vacation, and I did not keep up.
To the island of Oahu, by the way.
Yeah. And I didn't keep up with my workout. Got home after the vacation and tried doing the workout again. I felt like I was starting over.
Yeah, it turns out it was really hard.
It was really hard. The first day only did 50% of the workout. I kind of listened to what I was capable of doing. But all of those exercises and movements that I felt like I had perfected, I suddenly went back 5 steps. And it's not a bad thing. It's just sort of what happens when you don't keep up with a habit.
Yeah. And it's kind of like it's this weird sort of not fair thing where takes me months to get to a point where I can do a certain number of push-ups, and then I don't do it for 2 weeks, and suddenly I'm like back to where I was months ago, and I can't do it again.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that I'm starting over 100%, but it does remind me that if I had just done 5 knee push-ups a day, or if I had done 10 squats a day, it might have been easier to get back to the routine. So in case you think we're in an ivory tower made of muscle, we are not.
I actually am in an ivory tower made of muscle, but that's
a muscle tower, not an ivory tower.
A muscle tower.
But just letting you know, just to take the veil down, as Donald was saying, we regress. We go back to old habits very quickly. We're going to talk about that, about our little vacation that we took. But it is easier if you can just put a couple of minimums in place. I'm going to do at least 5 push-ups.
I have to say, and I almost don't want to say it, but I managed to do my strength training routine, like at least my minimums I averaged about every other day while we were on vacation, and I found it much easier to get back into it when I got back.
I seriously don't even remember. I don't know where I was when you were doing them, but I didn't do it. I did do a little bit of yoga, but that was only 1 day out of 10, and that turns out was not enough.
I don't do a 30-minute Blogilates routine. My little strength training routine takes me less than 15 minutes, so it's a little easier.
So the tip of the week is keep it up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Just keep it up. Try to keep a minimum up every day. Don't be like me, because it didn't work out so well for me. So I'm on
much easier to maintain fitness than to get it back.
Yeah. So that was the tip of the week.
Tip of the week to you.
Tao,
everybody.
Tao. I like saying Tao.
Me too.
I wonder if people who don't listen when I say Tao and pow to things are like, "What are you talking about?" So
I don't know.
They're not my concern. It's an inside joke.
So now, the episode that came out last week was Your Left Foot. It was called My Left Foot, but it was really about your left foot.
So we're going to give you a very quick update on that.
Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks since we recorded that episode, even though it's only been 1 week since you've listened to it.
Right. So if you may recall, suddenly I was walking to the kitchen, minding my own business, and suddenly I couldn't walk anymore. Finally ended up going to a podiatrist. My foot was feeling better. I think I know what the diagnosis was, but the podiatrist basically said, come back when it hurts again badly, and then we'll figure out exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But he gave me some foot pads to put.
And that'll be $5,000.
Yeah. No, he was great. If anyone needs a podiatrist in Sherman Oaks, California, it's our product of the week, or podiatrist of the week.
Podiatrist of the week. Pow!
Pow!
Yeah. While we were on vacation, by the way, it became a joke that Catherine would bring up what her podiatrist told her about Hawaii while we were there.
Yeah, that's another thing. He did, actually. He was very nice.
Gave us great advice.
Great advice. But I am feeling better.
Thank goodness.
The thing of it is, and this isn't the tip of the week, this is just kind of, even being a fairly fit person, I am going to have to watch my footwear moving forward. I generally don't wear heels, but it turns out if I don't wear supportive foot wear, I'm going to not be able to walk. And I was at a point a month ago, I was getting 17,000 to 20,000 steps a day. In July, when I had my foot issue, I was getting about 1,400 steps to 2,000 steps a day. And guess what? I was also having to eat much less because I was not moving. My foot is better. I made the mistake of wearing poor footwear yesterday, and guess what? My foot started hurting again. So it is a reminder that not all problems go away when you think you're fit, and that age matters, and that I have to be hyper aware of my mobility and my footwear moving forward. And it matters to walk. And it hit me really hard when I could not. I felt like I was tumbling backward. And so now I respect my feet.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to always wear some sort of dress-ish shoe all the time because I felt like I wanted to dress for the job I wanted, etc. And now that I'm just about to turn 50, I've just embraced my middle-aged guy who wears sneakers everywhere, like persona.
Well, and I won't call them out by name, but we were out a couple of weeks ago before I had my foot situation, like 3 days before, and Donald saw a pair of shoes that were not attractive shoes on a person, and he said, "Why the bleep would anyone wear that shoe?" Now I know, because having supportive, ugly, arch supporting footwear matters.
Yeah.
And so now, no judgment on the ugly shoe, except if you're wearing ugly socks with them. But that's another, I digress. Speaking of which, digressing, that is all I have to talk about my feet.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're better. We went on our walk this morning, and it all seemed pretty well.
Yeah. So feet matter. I matter. You matter. So
And you matter.
what's the next matter we're going to discuss?
And you, the listener, matter.
Yeah.
We went on vacation, as we've mentioned. I feel like almost feel like we're bragging about it at this point. But my parents treated us to a not that we didn't pay for stuff, but treated us to a trip to Hawaii. It was their 50th wedding anniversary, and I think they're trying to spend all of the money while they can. That's just a little joke. And took me and Catherine and our kid and my sisters and their kids and husband, and it was a fantastic time.
And that's all we have to say about it. There's a point to the story.
So we had, us being us, we had made all of these plans and, re-listened to our What to Do When You're Expecting Company episode and wrote down all of the things that we were going to do. And we were staying at a place that had a kitchen in the room. And when the first day we got there, Catherine and I took a trip to Target, the grocery store at Target.
So we were doing everything that the episode, the traveling hot dog warmer, told us about. We went. I actually did listen to that episode, and I was like, wow, we brought up so many good ideas. Like, go grocery shopping, have a place with a kitchenette, like set yourself up for success.
Yeah.
And we were checking off all the boxes.
And I had planned to stay on my basic plan, with some definite indulgences in there. You can't be on Hawaii and not have Mai Tais, which is a logic loophole that I was telling myself. We went and we did our Target shopping and bought the stuff that we wanted. And then my one sister and her husband had given us a list, and nothing on there was particularly triggery. It was mostly like stuff for the kids that I didn't care about.
I don't remember. I think we, only being a family of 3, I don't realize how many groceries are needed for 12 people.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming. It was a little more than we had anticipated. But as Donald said, I got my yogurt. I got the proteins that I usually eat. I was shopping at Target. In my mind, we were setting ourselves up. I bought the veggie burgers
that I like, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have some meals out, and I know I'm going to have some indulgences, but I'm just going to stick to my don't eat till 2 p.m., and I've got the snacks that I know I like and I, can control.
And then Donald has a naturally slim sibling.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but one of my 2 sisters just has never had a weight problem. And it's not that she doesn't work at it, but I don't think I've ever seen her have to lose weight. Maybe after she had one of her kids.
Yeah, so we're going to take you behind the veil of what it's like to be with a naturally slim person and the challenges that presents, because the way they manage food is very different than the way I manage food. And in some instances, like in terms of fitness, it can be very inspiring. Like the first day we were with her, I actually, she and a couple of other family members, both sisters actually were doing the Blogilates workout with me, and it felt really good and it felt inclusive.
Yeah.
On our trip, we went on morning walks.
Yeah, we did
great.
go on a morning walk almost every day. It wasn't our normal length, but at least we were, out there doing something.
Well, and the reason we can talk about the naturally slim sister is because she doesn't know what the internet is.
No.
She doesn't. She's not on the social
medias.
medias.
Facebook, not on Twitter.
She's not on Twitter. So we're just going to talk about her. We should give her a different name, though, just in case, to protect, just in case. But anyway,
well.
maybe she won't know which sister we're talking about.
Yeah.
But here's what she did. Here's what she did that ruined everything. She went to Costco.
Yeah, it turns out like even Oahu, like close to where we were, has a Costco, and it was a giant, like nice Costco apparently, although I never went inside it.
Which I think is really funny because on like the last episode that we did, I think we talked about like don't supersize, don't go to Costco and buy like so she went to Costco and she bought like 3 dozen eggs and she bought giant things of fruits and vegetables, which was great. But when you're with a naturally slim person who can manage their portions, those people don't buy pre-portioned snacks.
Yeah, she brought
those people.
She bought like, I don't know, was it 5 pounds?
A 5 pound
of like mixed nuts that then it turned out that she needed to keep it on the counter so that her kids could get to it. And I know it sounds ridiculous, like I should be able to control myself around that, but like a like giant container of mixed nuts that's just on the counter, I could not keep my hands out of it.
And she also bought, I think it was a 3 pound bag of the most delicious island granola. It was Hawaiian granola.
I mean, you got to have Hawaiian
made
granola
with bits of Don Ho. You can't
oh, you ruined it.
It's made
for
of
me.
people.
You ruined it.
No, it was actually dried pineapple, but you know. But she bought bulk granola. She bought bulk
No, it's
nuts.
not actually bits of Don Ho. You have to clarify.
Well, you were grossed out by it.
Yeah.
Anyway, a beloved Don Ho. So she bought nuts. She bought granola. She bought a big giant tray of party cheese. Do you remember the big tray of...
I also couldn't stop eating the tray of party cheese. Like, I specifically buy particular cheese that I can portion out to myself.
Isn't that a party?
I love cheese. I love cheese. I love nuts. And, like, the party tray with the 4 different kinds of cheeses that, like, you just could reach in and, like, you know, we didn't have a food scale there, like, which maybe was a mistake. Like, I just was grabbing handfuls of it the whole week.
Well, and so... The sleeper cell agent, we have many family members who are mindful of their calories, who are mindful of their portions. This naturally slim person is able to have a small handful of nuts, and she's satisfied for hours like a freak. And having food out on the counter, like there wasn't actually much storage space. I do much better when things are behind pantry walls.
Yeah, if I hadn't just seen it.
But having bulk nuts and granola out was a big trigger for me.
And cheese. And she bought all these like convenient like cheese and nut packs where, you know, there may be 250 calories or something like that. But if you eat one of them, it's not so bad. But when they're just there every time, you know, I open the fridge and I'm like, oh, I'm on vacation, you know, it got bad.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see what ended up being a trigger that was not anticipated because...
Not to mention the fact we were at a resort where like getting like lava flows and Mai Tais was...
hot and cold running
was
Mai
real
Tais.
easy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And I think we're not just trying to talk sexy about delicious foods that were at arm's reach. Vacation is a finite amount of time.
Right.
And... and we'll talk about it later, but like what you do after vacation matters. And we've talked about that before. And we already had our episode on Walt Disney World and the wreckage caused by Mickey Mouse on my my habits.
Maybe the key is we just don't go on any more vacations.
Yeah, the tip of the week is shelter in place.
But, you know, I think what we're trying to get at is that even Catherine and I, who have both lost over 100 pounds and are making it kind of our life's mission to help other people do the same thing, we don't have all of the answers. And even with all of the planning that we do and all of the preparation, we still run into things like this that, you know, I still get triggered by a giant thing of nuts on the counter or a thing of, you know, open cheese. Thing is an official measurement, by the way. And it's not, you know, we're not fixed. We still run into these things. We still have to live our lives. But the real point is how we handle it. And one of the big things for me is that even though I was indulging a lot more than I expected to, or that I planned on, I never was lying to myself about it. I was never actually saying to myself, well, these calories don't count because I'm on vacation, or I deserve this.
Island time, everyone.
Island time, everybody. Like, I knew what I was doing, and I knew I was walking into these situations. I was eating these meals, eating this food with open eyes, and not lying to myself. And I think that really is the big takeaway here, is that even the person I was who would have in the past just gone absolutely bananas with eating whatever because it was vacation time, I still restrained myself a lot more than I would have in the past. And I wasn't lying to myself. And I also didn't come back home and throw away all of the progress that I've made in these past few years, that I was able to, I'm cutting ahead maybe farther than Catherine wanted, but I was able to, I knew that when I got back to my, in air quotes, real life, that I could get back on my plan, and I wasn't worried that I was just going to, adopt my all or nothing attitude and throw it all away.
Right. And I think, and we were talking about it as natural humans on our walk this morning. Like, if you think about it,
we try to act like humans.
If we have 50 ideas on the table of ways that we can help control our habits, going to Target, loading up on Faye yogurt, and having foods that are naturally like part of our normal everyday life. Like, we, in the past, I think I talked about, like, when I went to Hawaii when I was 11 with my grandparents, I thought the mini fridge was like this magical Narnia where food
it was full
just
of like almond roca.
Like, I was like, every 5 minutes, I was like, I want a strawberry daiquiri. I want almond roca. I don't know. There were no limits put on me, which maybe I'll have a strong talk with my grandparents someday. But like, we definitely had, in terms of like weighing the scales of responsibility versus indulgence, we definitely tipped the scales toward the positive. We went on morning walks most days. I did, we went swimming. I did yoga one day. Like, Donald did his, secretly, quite against my knowledge, or without my knowledge, he did his morning workouts.
Melanie will verify. I know she saw me doing it at least twice.
Yeah, that's his sister that we weren't going to mention. The
that
naturally
we weren't
going to
say
sister.
Her name. It
She's not on the internet.
Rhymes with Schmelanie.
Yeah, but Donald took the stairs when he could. Like, I was still sort of nursing my foot at the time, so
our room was on the 10th floor, and I did like walk up to the 10th floor without the elevator several times.
Right. So Donald had a different experience on the trip than I think I did. I was maybe not as successful with my goals, but that's all right. But one thing he had mentioned, his parents received a box of delicious chocolate macadamia nuts while on the trip.
Yeah.
And there were also, somebody left us some chocolate macadamia nuts while on the trip. One thing that I think I have an A+.
I feel like when you're in Hawaii, like, chocolate covered macadamia nuts just appear.
Yeah,
like
they did.
They literally, for me, they just appeared. I'm not entirely sure where they came from.
So here's the thing with when we travel with just me and Dawn and our daughter, there's 3 people. Like, there's not too many personalities to get in the way. We can make decisions. Kind of, Dawn and I can hold each other accountable. But there is an anonymity with having bulk snacks and macadamia nuts in a space with 12 other people. Because as a grown-up, I know very well how to secret eat in front of everybody without anyone seeing what I'm doing.
I knew she was good at it, but man, she's
so good at secret eating.
She pulled some ninja stuff on this trip.
So there was a box of macadamia nut chocolates. It was probably only 12 chocolates. Like, they package them in such a way that it's like, you don't get
like a lot. I had one.
Right. So we got the box. You know me. I brought it down to the main table so everyone could enjoy it. And the great thing about that is that I can open the box, take 3 of them, put the lid back on. There's other people around, so everybody else.
I assumed the kids were hitting them hard.
I didn't actually count. There were probably 12 to 16 in the box. I am confident I ate 10 of them.
Oh my
10
God.
to 12. Maybe in the span of like an hour. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because I am still
I really should have kept a better eye.
But I've told Donald, if I'm quiet in the kitchen, it means I'm secret eating. I'm not doing something helpful. And being around 12 other people and having that like, oh, I don't know, the kids must have had the chocolates. Oh, those kids. Like, nobody called me on it. But that's how like secret eating in plain sight happens. And I still do it. And I don't like macadamia nuts all that much. But like,
well, when they're covered in chocolate.
That's another story. So I still have those secret eating tendencies. I still have those compulsive eating tendencies. I did okay on the trip.
You did put some accountability in place, though, with my other sister,
I
right?
did, which we've kind of talked about. So, and this is a bigger issue, and maybe, as we started Wolt Place, W-O-L-T Place.
Wolt Place. Wolt stands for We Only Look Thin, by the way.
Yeah.
My parents were like, what does Wolt stand for?
Yeah, my mom didn't know what Wolt was. But and we talked about this in Wolt Place a little bit. I told Don's sister, I said, don't let me have a pancake on vacation, because last summer I ate many pancakes and was up on the scale and it was really hard. So I told her, like, don't let me eat any pancakes. You know, that thing where you don't actually want the accountability you say you want.
Yeah,
because
it's like from some old movie where you're like, whatever I say, don't let me, come out of this room. Like, no matter how much I beg and plead, you don't open this door. And then the character gets in there, and the second they're in the room, they're like, open the door, open the door.
Anyway, in the sober light of day, I asked his sister, which I didn't remember, to not let me order any pancakes. I do so much better when I have protein in the morning.
Giant mistake.
Protein in the morning. So
it was a good thing.
On our second to last night on the trip, they had looked like a delicious fluffy pancake option on a menu, and I said I was thinking about ordering pancakes, and his sister was like, hey, you said you weren't going to order pancakes.
She did her job.
She did what I asked her to do.
Yep.
And I was like, who does that? Who like holds people accountable for things? What kind of, but I'm a grown up, and I was like, I did say that, but, and it's something we talked about in Wolt Place too, was like,
and then you tried to loophole your way out.
And then you loophole your way out. Well, it's not really the pancakes. It's the morning pancakes that are the tough part. It's night pancakes. It's whatever. So I didn't end up ordering the pancakes, but I sure did eat half of it because our daughter ordered the pancakes.
Yeah, our daughter ordered pancakes, and then I ended up having some too.
But accountability is maybe something we'll talk about on another episode, but it really brings up the like, when you say something like, oh, I shouldn't have any more, or, oh, I shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. It's sort of a like, I don't know what it is. Like, do you actually want accountability, or do you just want to say like, oh, I really shouldn't, but when in Hawaii? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, that was an awakening moment, and I appreciated her honesty.
But then what happened when you got back here?
When I got back, I pretty much got back on track pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Were we going to talk about the free food, or are we going to?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, the other part of it was that my parents especially, like, they take every opportunity to have any sort of free food upon them. I think that box of chocolate might have possibly been a free box of chocolate. It was a free box
of chocolates they got for listening to some.
And it's kind of like, we're at this point where we can say no. Like, we understand that the free box of chocolates is not free. Like, you pay a price for it later. And there was also a like slice of cake incident where we went to this restaurant, and because we were at the resort and my parents were timeshare owners, whatever, like, they got this free slice of cake. And the second they took it, I was like, let's please not take the free cake, but they just couldn't not take it.
Right. And it's that idea of like, well, it's complimentary. Like, we got to have the complimentary thing. Like, we're getting our money's worth. This is what having this discounted rate is all about.
Yeah.
And I ended up, I think the pie or the cake came home with the family, and I ate 80% of it, I think. I think maybe one bite was taken out of it, and I was like, well, I love cake, and I'm going to eat it. No one's going to know I'm going to eat it because there are 12 people here, and 12 people can eat one slice of cake.
I don't know if I actually even tasted it.
I
not
did.
Sure.
It was delicious.
I think it snuck by me, luckily.
But it's like, nothing free is free. Like, and it definitely was a big deal.
It was a good refresher course for me on the free stuff isn't always free, and you go out and like, should you supersize your meal even if it's free? Should you take that free slice of cake home? Like it's not always worth it.
Yeah, but as Donald was saying, what our recovery time for vacation, I think it's much better than it was even
much better
at Christmas when we went to Walt Disney World. It's not Walt Disney World, it's Walt Disney World. Sorry, Mickey Mouse. But
yeah, I mean, I basically we got back on a Sunday afternoon, and like Monday morning, I was right back on my normal everyday plan when I went to work. Like I didn't start eating till 2:00. I packed my snacks. Like before we left, that's part of the planning and preparation. I made sure that I had enough food here to get me through a week of work without doing any meal prep, but having all of the snacks and things available.
Well, and I think too, we got home, the cupboards were kind of bare. But Monday morning, I was right back at work. I had our daughter to manage. Like, we're opening Walt Place. All this different stuff was going on. And I had to decide, and this will tie into our product of the week, which I guess, I mean, it doesn't have to be its own segment. I can just pow it now.
We can just do product of the week.
Let's pow it now. Pow! It's surprise, everybody. It's a product of the week in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah, maybe we weren't as prepared as I claimed to be.
Oh, you were prepared because I was prepared. But we put pressure on ourselves to do it all, which is another tip of the week. You're not going to get it in this tip.
No,
but
don't give them too many tips in one episode.
No, but in the traveling hot dog warmer episode.
I was kidding, by the way.
Oh,
it's
okay.
all tips. The whole thing is tips.
The
whole episode is really tips.
Yeah. In that episode, we talked about what you do when you return from vacation is super important, and setting yourself up for success. And that Monday morning, I was jet lagged. I was back at work. Our daughter was home for the day, and I wanted to go grocery shopping. And I'm like, I don't have time to go grocery shopping. I've got to hit the ground running at work. And so I did the grown-up thing. And here's the product of the week. Pow!
Pow, everybody. Product of the week to you.
Product of the week to you. I used our online grocery Instacart app, which is Ralph's, our local grocer. You might have a different app in your area.
It's owned by Kroger Company, who owns a bunch of different stores. Around here, they're called Ralph's. By you, they might be called Kroger or something else.
Yeah. They have an online delivery service. You pay a fee for the delivery, and then you tip the delivery person who actually also does the shopping for you. So I went through our grocery list, which it's all captured online.
And the fee was like $10, right?
Yeah. And I ordered staples to have in the house to get us through the week. I had them get some frozen things, eggs, milk, and just some basics to have in the house to keep me going until I could go to the grocery store on my own. Now, I mentioned this in the We Only Look Thin Facebook public page. I said, hey, check out Instacart.
Yeah.
It's a great way to have groceries delivered so that you can actually spend your time doing what you need to do. And for me, it would have been really overwhelming to try to be at my desk for work at 8 a.m. and go grocery shopping. So I did the Instacart. I ordered some groceries to keep in the house. And it really saved the day. I was able to get right back onto my eating plan and get back into my intermittent fasting window. And it was super helpful. A couple of people who said that they could never let someone else grocery shop for them.
Or for me, it's like a dream to let someone else grocery shop
but
for
it's
me.
hard because it's like, oh, that's not this, you don't want someone else squeezing your Charmin. And I totally get that. But
I've been married a long time. I love having someone else squeeze my Charmin. I don't know what that means.
But it's not about having every single food that you want in the house perfectly picked out. You're not going to pick out the perfect, cuts of meat or your perfect produce, but somebody else can pick up a bag of baby carrots. Somebody else can pick up a bag of romaine lettuce. Somebody else can pick up
the yogurt you like, or
right.
There's not like a you don't have to decide whether it's ripe enough.
But I spend so much of my life. Donald can tell you. we've been married a very long time. I am a control freak. I am a type
No.
A personality.
No. Don't talk about my wife like that.
Why are you nodding yes secretly while you're saying no into the mic?
The listeners can't see that.
But the perils of being a perfectionist and wanting control over everything is that you stress yourself out, you overcommit, you underdeliver, and you set yourself up for failure because all of that stress makes me want to emotionally and secretly eat.
For me, it leads to eating. It leads to
it
overeating.
All comes to eating.
Yeah, like everything, it all comes back to diet and exercise.
So letting go of some of that control and allowing yourself to let a B plus apple replace an A plus apple. Literally, I asked for Honeycrisp apples. They were fine. They were good apples. It was fine. But letting go of some of that control and letting it be okay to just be like, you know what? Okay, the guy got the blueberry yogurt instead of the pomegranate yogurt. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, and we're not suggesting that you have to use it every time either. This was sort of a special circumstance, but I've used it before, and I might try and use it more often even, free up time on the weekend to do other things.
Because really, it would have taken me, 90 minutes to go grocery shopping. And when I've got to hit the ground running at work the next day, it's okay to just let that go and be okay with the imperfect Honeycrisp apple.
What did we spend grocery shopping yesterday? Like 2.5 hours or something?
We spent a lot of time grocery shopping.
It was a lot of time. We it's been a week since we got back from the vacation. We actually did a real grocery shopping trip. It was a lot of time.
Yeah. So this is sort of a tip of the week, a product of the week. For perfectionists out there, for the people who have to have it their way or no way, start letting go of that, because perfectionism used to get me in trouble. Perfectionism would make me stressed out.
Yeah.
It would make me angry. The idea of going grocery shopping that morning, I'd be like, fine, I've got to do everything around here.
Right. Be okay with B plus work.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And
it's
letting go of that and letting go of that perfectionism for the day and making do mattered. And it helped the whole family have a better return. So that is the product of the week. Pow,
everybody.
Pow.
So I think kind of, unless there's something else you wanted to say, I think to sum up, even with all of the preparation and work that we did, we still ran into obstacles that sort of brought our old selves back to the forefront. Being around family, being on vacation, my sister's shopping trip. But ultimately, I think, the important thing is here, we have the habits in place that we were able to not go completely crazy while we were there, and then also get right back into the groove while we're back. And I'm up a few pounds on the scale, but
I'm up a few pounds on the scale.
I figured it would happen, but I feel good about the fact that I'm not allowing that to ruin all of the progress that I've made over the last few years, and that I'm getting right back on it. And I think really what I would like to tell you, the listener out there, if you're somebody who is an all or nothing person, or if you let a vacation derail all of your progress, like nobody was more susceptible to doing that than me. Like I did it for, 45, 47 years before I finally got my head on straight. And if I can do it, you can too. I promise you can.
Totally. So if you're listening to this when it comes out, don't wait until Labor Day to get back in control. Don't wait until New Year to get back in control. There is always going to be something in the way of your progress, and getting right back on, stepping back up, deciding what you can manage, it totally matters.
Yeah, this past Monday was just a normal back to work Monday, and I didn't use my vacation hangover as an excuse to stay on my binge eating. Well, it wasn't exactly binge eating, but to keep eating whatever I wanted. I got right back on to my healthy habits.
Yeah, and something I think I'm going to save for the next episode is I had a big birthday, and I'm actually going to talk about it in an upcoming episode.
Okay.
But to finish this off, I have come to the realization that I am actually an adult, and I'm going to talk about that in another episode.
Yeah.
But you are a grown-up. You go on vacation, you return, and you start taking care of yourself. You start wearing practical footwear. You start ordering Instacart instead of putting yourself out and putting yourself in a situation where you're stressed out. You matter, your habits matter, and your future self will thank you for listening to inspiring episodes of We Only Look Thin.
And we would like to thank your present self for listening to this episode.
Thank you right now.
Thank you very much. And if you could subscribe to our show, that would be great. If you could tell other people that you know who might like it about it, that would be great.
And you know what's also great? We give you so much, and you think, how can I give back
how
to
can
people?
I pay?
Like,
While you're listening, you're probably thinking, how could I pay Donald and Catherine back for the
could I send them a coupon
advice?
in the mail like my grandma used to do?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, my grandmother. She would send me letters and put actual coupons that she cut out of this.
It was so sweet.
It was so sweet.
Don't send us coupons.
I miss it. Yeah, don't send us
so
coupons.
Send us virtual coupons by rating and reviewing us on whatever iTunes is called now.
It's just Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, like I said.
That would be great.
That's what I said.
Yeah. That would really help us out. Really appreciate it. Word of mouth is great. Tell people about it.
Tell people.
And also, we've mentioned we've talked it up as the product of the week, but we have actually launched We Only Look Thin Place, Walt Place.
It's awesome.
If you are interested in joining, it is our subscription-based online weight loss support group. It's been going great so far. Everybody seems to be really into it, and we're really, really happy with how it's going. You can go to our website, weonlylookthin.com. You can also listen to this show there. But click on the Join Our Support Group link, and there's a bunch of information there. It tells you how to sign up, what the costs are, and we'd love to have you. Yeah,
so it's open. It's not, I think a few people thought like the Iron Curtain was going to shut on August 1st when Walt Place opened, but it's just the start of it. It's been an awesome group.
Just the beginning.
Just the beginning. So that's this episode.
You can find us on Instagram at We Only Look Thin.
You can find us on Twitter at We Only Look Thin.
And Facebook at We Only Look Thin. And if you would like to email us, you can send us a message to weonlylookthin@gmail.com. And we've been a little slow while we were on vacation and launching Walt Place to answer lately, but we do answer all the emails eventually.
Yeah, it's just me and Donald. So anything that's come through, we are doing our very best to keep up with everything. We so appreciate everyone reaching out and commenting, and we feel very blessed and lucky. So
we really do. And the next time that you're on a tropical island sipping a Mai Tai or a lava flow and trying to remember how to stay fit on your vacation, just remember that Catherine and I are
an inspiration-ation.
The information that you hear on this podcast is for informational purposes only. The hosts are not medical professionals. You should always consult with your doctor, nurse, or other certified health professional before beginning any diet or fitness program.